All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a CMU CS Academy live question and answer session. I'm Austin. I'm going to be the moderator for, whoa, we will begin shortly. I just got booted onto a YouTube page. All right, yeah, so I was saying I'm Austin, but the real stars of the show today are our undergrads who are going to be answering questions, undergrads on our student team. So I'm joined by Karen, Maggie, Sean, and Nico. So these sessions will be hosted every day this week at 9:30, 1:30, and 5:30 Eastern time. And just before we get started, a couple ground rules for the chat. So we're expecting that classroom teachers will be posting questions in the chat on behalf of the entire classroom, and that we'll limit conversation in the chat to just questions that your students have for us or answering questions that we have for you. Like, for instance, where are you watching from? So we will break the ice by introducing ourselves a little bit. And why don't we have you break the ice by telling us where you are? Okay, so now we will go around the, I want to say around the room, but it's not a room. We'll go around the screen and talk a little bit about ourselves. I'll start. So like I said, I'm Austin. I'm a software developer, full-time software developer on the team. I just recently graduated CMU. So I'm only 4 years separated from high school, which is kind of crazy to imagine. So I'm close enough to the college experience that I might be able to answer a few questions. All right, Nico, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. My name is Nico. I'm a senior here at Carnegie Mellon. I study physics. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, but I've lived in the suburbs of DC for basically my whole life. And on this team, I'm on the Spanish team, translating the curriculum to Spanish. I was also asked to do this in Spanish as well, because we might have some Spanish viewers. So, yo soy Nico, soy un senior acá en Carnegie Mellon, estudio física. Originalmente soy de Buenos Aires, pero ahora vivo en las afueras de DC. Y en este proyecto yo trabajo en el equipo de español. Entonces, nice to be here.
Thanks, Nico. Shout out to Mr. Slade's class from Colorado. Thanks for interacting with us. Maggie, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm a junior at CMU studying computational biology and also linguistics. I'm originally from Shanghai, China, and I've been with CS Academy since 2018 November and been working on the content team. Okay.
All right, Sean, you want to go?
Absolutely. Hello, my name is Sean. I'm a sophomore majoring in information systems at Carnegie Mellon. My hometown is at Hangzhou, China, but currently I'm living in California. I'm a content creator, UX designer, and a marketing outreach currently on CS Academy.
And last but not least, Karen.
Hi guys, my name is Karen. I'm also a sophomore at CMU. My major is cognitive science and my minor is computer science. And I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And on for CS Academy, I am on the teacher training and outreach team.
Great. So that's us. Feel free to start asking questions in the chat if you've got them. And while we wait for a couple questions from the classrooms, we'll start out with one from our question bank. This is one that we just have to answer. So what's your favorite part about working on the CS Academy team? And also, why did you join? Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead.
Right.
So this is what's my favorite part about working on CS Academy.
And why did you join?
I feel like this is a very common cop-out answer, but I definitely have to say the people. I really, really enjoy working with everybody on this team. And it's really nice, especially because everybody on this team has the same common goal, and that is to help students and teachers learn how to program. And so it's just a super rewarding experience to work on this team and work with these people. Other thing was, why did I get involved?
Mm-hmm. Am I the only one that lost Nico?
Yeah, we lost.
Oh,
Did
he's
you lose
back.
me?
Oh, here he is.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry about that.
Yep.
And then I guess the why, also very similar to my favorite part is I love working on a project that makes me feel really good about what I'm doing. And I feel like everybody works on this team because they really love what they're doing in this project. So I guess really quickly in Spanish, mi parte favorita de trabajar acá en el equipo de CS Academy definitivamente la gente. Acá somos todos parte de un equipo con la misma meta de ayudar a los estudiantes y los maestros en aprender a programar. Y también eso responde a la otra pregunta, es por qué decidí trabajar acá. Por eso me gusta ser parte de un proyecto que me hace sentir bien, que estoy haciendo una diferencia en ayudar a la gente y que creo que todos se sienten igual acá en este proyecto.
Thanks, Nico.
Hey.
Karen, you want to go next?
For sure. So mine's pretty similar to Nico's. I really enjoy working with all the people on the CS Academy team. But also, definitely one of my favorite parts is like running the PD sessions and working with the teachers. I just think it's so rewarding to like be able to teach them about our curriculum and computer science and see like that moment when they finally figure something out and just realize how to do something is so cool. And I feel like that experience is really, really rewarding.
Sean?
Absolutely. I guess for me, similar to Nico and Karen, it's about people in CS Academy, but also involving with interacting with teachers, stuff like that. But I guess for the most part, to me, the curriculum itself for CS Academy, something I really enjoy at. Knowing that the student would hopefully enjoy what I create is something that I always look forward to.
Right, and Maggie?
Yeah, my answer would be pretty similar. I really enjoy working with the whole team, and also I guess knowing that your exercises and all that will be deployed and used in classrooms is just amazing. Like you can actually teach people and help them grow and learn as you learn and grow. And I think I joined the team because actually it was like freshman fall, so it was like probably like right after the first my ever like programming class. I was like, programming is really cool, and I hope more people enjoy it. So I joined the team. Yeah.
Awesome. So no questions in the chat yet. So let's talk about some college stuff generally. So like, what is a day of a CMU student's life like? Who wants to start?
I guess I can go again. I feel like now it's a different answer than like a typical day.
Yeah, why don't you talk about
Yeah.
both? So like what it used to be and now what it was in the before times and what it is today.
Let's just say that in the before times, it was actually really fun. And in the now times, it's kind of not so fun as before. the best part of my day, a typical day would be I usually woke up in the morning because I have a class in the morning, and I'd go to campus, and I was basically on campus for the majority of the day. Even if I wasn't having classes, it was nice because I could go to meet up with my friends to go study at the library, and then go to the cafe and drink a coffee and like meet up with some people. And it was like the constant change of environment that like made my day nice, and I was able to look forward to it. Which unfortunately is what we lost out now these days. You know, I don't really get to walk around and meet up with people anymore, and I don't know, it's not as fun. But a typical day was, yeah, just go on campus and class and meet up with people and study and stuff. So honestly, yeah, okay, I guess really quickly. Un día típico antes de todo esto que pasó. Típicamente me levantaba a la mañana y me iba al campus y iba a clase y tipo cambiaba de lugar para estudiar con amigos. Y iba a la biblioteca, al café, a almorzar con amigos, pero estaba todo el día ahí en la universidad. Y después me volví a mi casa y acá me relajaba. Entonces, un día típico era así, ir a estudiar en el campus, volver y relajar en casa. Fin.
Right. Who wants to go next?
I can go. So mine, again, is pretty similar, but definitely going to class. You usually have like 2 to 3 classes a day that you go to. And other than that, a lot of times studying. I usually study like in the library, or in the warm weather. I really like studying outside. So that was something I did a lot.
Warm weather in Pittsburgh? Yeah. What are we going to the same school?
This was like the first month of school, right? And then what else? Yeah, like meeting up with friends to eat dinner sometimes. And I'd also go to dance sometimes. So I'm a dancer. That was like before all of this happened. I would say now I'm pretty much on Zoom all day. I go to my like Zoom classes, I do homework, and then I also have a lot of like club meetings and stuff that are all happening on Zoom. So I'm just like, I'm super busy, but everything's just like online through Zoom.
I can go next, I guess. So I guess the before time, you know, aside from like go to classes and all that, I think I really miss like being able to go to like office hours, and just sometimes we even just hang out in professors' office hours and just like
for the students out there.
Yeah. So professors, they also just have a time that you can just go and ask your questions, or you can just go and talk about what's going on in your life, which is like really cool. And but nowadays, I guess those are all gone. But I still do have like 1 or 2 classes that have like in-person class time, but like usually it's just through Zoom. So yeah.
Great. And Sean?
Yep. I guess for me, last semester, it's usually going to class in the morning and go back to my dorm in the afternoon or late evening. I also go to office hours a lot. And for those people who don't know what office hours are, it's just a place for you to get help, but not from the professors, but smarter people like TAs and other students. And I think for now, it's more like going in between my bed and in front of my desk. I have many Zoom meetings happening during the day, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. I have a follow-up question to this. So everybody talked about like going to class for a little bit and studying, which sounds a lot like high school. But do you get up at, I don't know, 6:30, 7:30 in the morning to go to school? No, like what's the time of the schedule like?
I guess I'll go. No, I actually recently been thinking a lot about, I cannot remember how I used to get up at 6 in the morning every day to go to class. More normal, I tend to have a lot of morning classes, so I get up every day at 9 just because I like to have a set schedule. But I have a lot of friends that start class at 10, 11, you know, or even later. So no, it's a much more flexible kind of schedule. You get to kind of decide what you do with your day, which is really nice. And I guess we all take that for granted because we did not talk about that at all.
Yeah, I think that was one of the nice things about the college experience. Is that,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you get to structure your schedule. And when you're choosing classes, you get to choose when those classes are going to be sometimes. If they're like 2 versions of the lecture, you want to do the afternoon one so you can wake up at 10 a.m. every day. That's something that you can totally do.
Yeah.
We have a question from Mr. Slade. He says, how many people are on the team? Which off the top of my head, I don't know the exact number. Does anybody else in the Zoom know?
I want to say about 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably 30.
That was also going to be my guess. So it's around that. We've got, people doing UX design, people doing software development, people doing translation, all kinds of stuff. It's a big project with many moving parts. So we've got people helping out in all the different places. Thanks for the question. All right, let's move on to, let's do a college prep one. What advice do you have for high school students preparing to apply to college?
I can go
the
again.
Dark times,
Yeah.
the stress.
My number one, I've gotten this question a couple of times from younger people that I know. And I think number one was to do and write about, because I'm assuming this is geared towards like applications, like how did this help you like, with that experience? Definitely focus on stuff you're passionate about. I had a lot of people that I knew that try to focus on what they thought colleges would find impressive. And that usually ends up backfiring because it's hard to write about something that you're not passionate about. And I think schools are more looking for like a complete human being and not just some robot that does what you think that universities think is cool. So definitely write about something that really you're passionate about. That's what I'd say. En Spanish, que si tengo algún consejo para los estudiantes en la secundaria que están aplicando ahora para las universidades es escribir sobre algo que realmente te apasiona, porque en estas tesis que mandas a las universidades es fácil, es muy obvio cuando escribís sobre algo que realmente no te apasiona. Entonces, escribir algo por algo que te gusta. Entonces, para mí eso me ayudó un montón en escribir los 10 tesis que tenía que escribir para aplicar, era escribir sobre algo que realmente me gustaba.
Thanks, Nico.
De nada.
I have kind of 2 pieces of advice, I guess, but my first one is start early, which is what I did not do. But you don't want to be like cramming in like 8 college applications last minute right before winter break. Like you're not going to have time to think about what you want to write and really develop your ideas. It's just going to be kind of a mess. So make sure you like plan accordingly and start early. That's really important. And then my second piece of advice I would say is do your research. So like make sure in your application that you're mentioning specific things about the college you're applying to and show them you've like looked on their website, you've looked at what their classes are, what activities you might be interested in doing, like show them you've looked at their school in particular and why you're interested in them.
Good advice.
I think for me, the best advice I can give is just be yourself while applying for college. First, as Karen said, do research and know which college you want to apply to. But also when you write these college essays, try to find something unique about yourself that you want to present to the college administrators. While I was in high school, all the Asian friends I have somehow all knows piano or violin, somehow all plays tennis. And I mean, it's definitely great activities to have, but if you're not unique, you would just end up being like all my other friends out there.
Yeah, like definitely good advice because I think like probably college application is like a good time for self-reflection and like to really know what you like and what you want to do for I don't know, like another 4 years. And also, I guess be more confident about yourself. Like definitely do not think, yeah, like I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, you know, like they're not gonna choose me or like me, but I don't think that's true. So just like have more confidence in yourself and just do your best. Yeah.
Nice. All right, a related question. What are some things you wish you did in high school, both academic and non-academic, that you didn't do? Anybody?
Okay, I mean, to be honest, I have no regrets about what I did and did not do in high school.
Nice.
So I honestly don't think I have. I don't sit back and think about, oh, I wish I did this and wish that I did that. I mean, if anything, I would say just do what you like to do. Like I did what I like to do, and that's worked out for me so far. So I don't regret.
Nico lives in the present.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else wants to actually answer that question because I don't really have a good answer for it.
Anybody
I guess
else?
just like in general, I mean, mostly I'm on the same page as Nico. Like, I felt like I really challenged myself academically and like took the classes I really wanted to take, all of that. But I feel like looking back on it, I could have um, just like talked to more people in my class and gotten to know more people. I feel like that's kind of an important part of, you know, your high school experience is building those connections with people in your class. And I feel like I didn't do that as much as I could have. I kind of stayed within my group of friends. So I feel like if I were to change something, that would probably be it.
Cool. Sean or Maggie, you have anything? Or also no regrets?
To be honest, I don't even remember what I did in my high school years.
John, you're only a sophomore. That was 2 years
yeah,
ago.
that's true. Time really flies by. But for the most part, I think joining more club is something I kind of regret. There are a lot of fun clubs in my high school, such as math club, robotic clubs. So, you know, I wish while I was a junior or senior, I would join them and get to know about the world better in general.
I don't know, like I feel very much in the same line. Like I feel my high school life was pretty good and also pretty chill, I guess. Um, I guess I would also like try to meet more people and try something like really new, like getting out of the comfort zone. Because I think for high school, I took some classes that are pretty much like I know I like these classes, blah blah blah. But maybe I could have like tried something really different. Yeah.
I think my advice is also related to stepping out of your comfort zone. And I can relate to Sean some too. Like I ended up doing some theater in high school, but I didn't do it until sophomore year. Really wish I would have started freshman year and gotten like a whole extra year of plays in, but I was way too nervous to do it freshman year. So I would say just go out and do stuff, even if it makes you scared. It's worth it 99% of the time. Okay, we talked about why you got involved in CS Academy and why you like working on the project, but what about how did you get involved in it? Like, did you have a friend that told you about it, or did you read about it on a poster somewhere? What's that story?
Actually, I think, yeah, I have a pretty good story about this one. I was actually, my sophomore year, I was taking a intro computer science class that was required for people in the science majors. And the professor teaching it happens to be one of the founders of this project. And one day before class, he said, "Oh, before I forget, if you're a student that speaks Spanish, has at least a B in the class, and is interested in working on a project that's going to translate a curriculum of programming into Spanish, like talk to me after class or send me an email." And I just remember like he said that, it kind of like jarred me. I was like, "What? He's talking to me." Like I immediately thought I have to join that project. I have to do that. And yeah, I talked to him and got hired, and I've been doing this for over a year now. Yeah. I'm glad I did not sleep through that class. That's what I first thought. I was like, I'm glad I came. And I guess in Spanish real quick, la pregunta era, ¿cómo fue que empecé a trabajar en el proyecto? Y justo yo estaba tomando una clase de programación que justo lo estaba enseñando uno de los fundadores de este proyecto. Y antes de una clase un día, él dice, si vos sos un estudiante que habla español, tiene por lo menos una B en la clase y le interesa ser parte de un proyecto que va a traducir un currículum de programación en español, mandame un email o hablar conmigo después de la clase. Y yo pensé, wow, eso, yo tengo que ser parte de ese proyecto. Realmente tengo que hacer eso. Sentía que era para mí esta oportunidad. Y nada, así empezó y me contrataron y hace más de un año que trabajo acá y me encanta.
Thanks, Nico.
Yep.
What's
I
next?
have sort of a similar story, but I was also taking that same class last semester, so last spring. And the professor just sent out an email to like everyone in the class saying, we're hiring at CS Academy. And so I guess the reason I decided to apply was I saw that email and felt like CS Academy was really combined two of my interests in a really great way. And that kind of like, that really interested me and intrigued me. So I would say one of those is computer science, obviously. And then the other is education, because I've done a lot of work with children and teaching. So I felt like it was a really cool way for me to combine those two things. And so I applied.
Nice. Maggie and Sean are shy. You two have been the last two.
Honestly, I mean, oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Sean.
No, go ahead, Maggie.
Oh, yeah, honestly, because I'm just like trying to recall, like, because it was like it's legit 2 years ago, actually. So I actually saw a post about CS Academy and like that, you know, if you're interested in a project, you should come and join. And I don't know, it was kind of, it's very interesting because I got a lot of email that day, and that one was just like a little bit hiding in the stack of email that you get. And then like I just happened to click on it and be like, that actually sounds really interesting. I wasn't involved in a lot of activities actually during school that semester, so I was like, why? Okay, I'll just try because I really like the class, like Nico and Karen just mentioned. So I was like, maybe I'll see what I can do there. So just like sort of tried and applied. That's the story.
Yeah, quite similar to Maggie. Actually, after Karen and Nico talked about it, I realized the professor that we all mentioned most likely talked about CS Academy in his lecture, but I slept through that course for every single lecture that he talks about. That's why I got a bit nervous there. But similar to Maggie, I saw it on a post there, and on Piazza, which is quite similar to Google Classroom. And I saw that post and I just applied because I didn't have anything planned during the summer. But after I apply and get to know more about CS Academy, I think that's something I was passionate about, both about design and also content creation, creating stuff for students to look at and learn about.
Cool. All right.
I think a X112TA is here. Who did?
Yes, and an
Yes.
ex-CS Academy team member just gave us a smiley face in the chat. He's must be taking a look at or maybe you got a notification that we started a live stream. So a reminder that we can take questions from you for the 4 classrooms that we've got watching. If you have something specific that you want to know, feel free to ask us. Give us the hard questions. Ask us about I don't know, gender diversity in CS or something like that. We'll give it our best shot. I'll pick another one in the meantime, though. Let's see. What part of your high school experience was most helpful in preparing you for college?
Making me feel old, Austin. I can't remember.
It can be a specific thing or like an extracurricular that you were involved in or a project. It's like a broad experience.
I think for me, it was several, like it was many experiences. Like I tried to do as much as I could when I was in high school. I think I still try to do that. I mean, CMU has countless clubs that you can be part of. So I was involved all over the place in my high school. I was on the soccer team, so I knew everybody in the athletics. I was part of the guitar ensemble, so I knew everybody in the music department. My favorite classes were the physics or the science and math classes. I was friends with all of them. So like I feel like I branched out a lot and met a lot of really, really interesting people. So maybe it's just like try everything. Do if you have the opportunity to do it, just do it. I met a lot of cool people that way. So I guess really quickly in Spanish. Entonces la pregunta era, ¿qué hice en la secundaria para que me ayudó a preparar para la universidad? Y la verdad era tomar todas las oportunidades que tenía. Me registré y era parte de un montón de clubes. Yo era parte del equipo de fútbol, conocía a todos los de ahí. Era parte de la banda de guitarra, entonces conocía a todos los del departamento de música. Conocí a los maestros de ciencia y matemática porque eran mis favoritos. Entonces, para mí era hacer lo que te guste y probar todo. Y así vas a conocer mucha gente y encontrar lo que realmente te gusta. Eso sería mi consejo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who else?
I can go. So I actually did international baccalaureate, which is like a different degree program to AP, like a IB, during high school, and we had to basically write papers for each subject that we were learning in order to graduate. So like at first it's like really daunting that you have to write math papers, like I don't know, like English papers, chemistry papers, and I was like, what? But I think like once you sort of like think through what you're interested about in that field and you start doing your own research, that became like really interesting. And so I don't know, like I guess at that moment I was like, oh, this is actually a very fun experience, and I wish I can do more of that. So yeah, I think that's definitely helpful towards like, you know, getting ready for college.
Cool.
Yeah, I think for me, almost every part of high school contributed to my college experience. But if I have to pick one, it's mostly about band. I joined band for a semester. I played flute. And what I realized is that band is, I guess, less about the music, but more about communicating with others, doing the practice and also doing performance. I think that really gets me to know that communication is really important, and that carries around into college also.
Cool.
I think for me, I guess one thing for sure was the academics. I went to a pretty challenging high school and I took a fair amount of AP classes. So that was really helpful in just like getting me prepared for the course load and homework load and everything that happens in college. Also, yeah, getting involved in a lot of activities. So you kind of start to learn how to manage your homework around those activities and like plan your day so you can get as much done as possible. And then a very specific experience that I'm thinking of is my school does this thing called senior projects, my high school, where as a senior for your like last month of school, you get an internship somewhere or like pursue some kind of cool project instead of attending classes. And so I got an internship that was in California. So I had to live with a host family for a month and like do this internship. And that was really, really helpful for getting used to like just managing my life by myself without my parents there. And so like for me personally, that was really important in like getting me ready for college.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got 25 minutes left. I think I might just make my way down this section of other that we have in our question bank. So the first one that we have on here is, what are some misconceptions you think people have about studying in a STEM field?
think misconception number one, STEM people are not social human beings. That is a straight up lie. I made a lot of really awesome friends in my physics classes and computer science classes. The people on this team, like, that is a straight up lie. Yeah, there's going to be some people that are more introverted than others, but the idea that STEM is for like nerdy, unsocial people is just a lie. And you're going to find some of the coolest people you'll ever find doing STEM, in my opinion. Yeah.
We don't just sit in a dark room and write code. Usually we sit in a room together and blast music and write code. That's the way to do it.
Much better.
Much more fun that way.
Yes.
Exactly. You want to translate?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay. Entonces, la pregunta era, ¿cuáles son algo de STEM que no es verdad? Entonces, yo diría que es una mentira que los estudiantes de STEM no son sociales. Es una mentira total. Yo he conocido mucha gente súper divertida, súper cool en mis clases de física, ciencia de computación, en química. Tipo, mis mejores amigos acá son de esos departamentos. Entonces, la idea que no somos sociales, que no somos divertidos, es la verdad una mentira total. Yeah.
Who else?
Mine's really similar to that, but I know when I was in high school, I was kind of skeptical about doing something related to computer science, which I now am because I'm minoring in computer science. So, but anyways, I had this image in my head of literally like a person just staring at a computer coding all day, like not talking to anyone. I was like, that sounds horrible, but that's totally not what it is at all. Like there's so much collaboration involved, which is like, it's something that just not a lot of people think about when you first think of computer science, but it's really true.
I guess to add on that, I think like I like even I used to think that, you know, like STEM people are those like really just smart, very clever people. They're born clever. They just, you know, they're born to do STEM and all that. And but I think it's really not true. Like you might not be able to do something, but like you might be able to do something really, like some other thing really, really well. Like I think like I used to really hate math as a matter of fact, but then I got to college and somehow I really love math right now. So I think you definitely change, and there's not like really a type of like STEM people. They're just like all different. You got all the flavors. Yeah.
I really like that one. And I head TA'd and then taught CMU's intro computer science course. So I have a lot of experience watching students learn computer science. And it's totally true that it's not just an innate skill to have of problem solving. There are people who start this class, are completely lost, and then you watch them figure out how to solve problems over time. So it's something that you can practice and you can get better at. So if you're struggling with it right now, don't think, oh, this isn't for me. That's just not the way that my brain works. You just need to learn it like anything else.
Yeah. And adding on to Austin and Maggie, I think one big misconception about STEM is people usually think when they come into college that for STEM courses, you can just memorize the textbook and get a good grades on it. I think that happens a lot. For computer science, Austin can definitely confirm that. But for the most part, I would say STEM classes involves a lot of practical things. For the course that Austin TA'd and taught, we actually do something called a term project at the end, where we get to use what we learn and create an application of that in the real world.
Next question on this list is, why is learning computer science important, especially if you don't want to be a programmer? AKA, why am I in this class? Why am I listening to you right now?
I think the fact of the matter is that at this point, it's inescapable to learn computer science. And computer science is just everywhere at this point. And you don't have to be a computer scientist to use computer science. I was talking about this the other day with a couple of my friends, like computer science at this point is everywhere in places that maybe 10, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have imagined it. I have friends that combine computer science and art, friends that combine computer science and architecture. There's computer science in agriculture now. Like, there's computer science everywhere. And so at this point, it's like a fundamental skill that most people should get accustomed to learning or have some exposure to, at least in this kind of day and age. You never know when you're going to use it, and it's a really helpful skill to have. Entonces la pregunta era, ¿por qué es importante aprender a programar? Especialmente si yo no quiero no quiero estar en una carrera de programación. Y la verdad es que la programación está en todas partes en este momento. Yo estaba hablando con unos amigos y tengo amigos que están haciendo programación y arte combinados, programación y arquitectura, programación y agricultura. Está en todas partes en este momento. Entonces es una herramienta que ya en este punto es inevitable aprenderlo. Y es algo bastante importante en estos días, tener por lo menos un poco de... ser un poco cómodo con la idea de programar. Yeah.
Next.
That was a really good answer. But just like adding on to it, I feel like, especially at CMU, since there's just like so much computer science everywhere at CMU, you get to see kind of the really cool ways that computer science becomes part of other fields that you wouldn't necessarily think of right away. So I know like something I was really surprised about was the fact that like you can mix computer science and English, or like computer science and history, when you're like, you know, analyzing texts, and like the amount of different words used in different texts, or like matching historical writing to different authors, things like that. Like, it's just amazing how much computer science can be involved in literally anything.
Yeah, definitely. I really think like computer science is like a really powerful tool, and also at the same time, it's relatively inexpensive, because you know, like when you want to like say really build something in the real world, like, you know, as a solution to a problem, you might need to, you know, get all the supplies, and you have to, you know, like do this and do that. But like, I guess with programs, sometimes you just do a rapid prototype, and you just like build something small up, and then it can like, you know, help you solve or answer some like really big question involving a lot of data and a lot of like information. And I think that is what it's really like powerful and useful. Like, I just see it as like a very helpful tool. Like, yeah.
Yep. And I think one other thing about computer science is that it helps you to understand the world surrounding you better. If you learn like a programming language like Python, it'll be much easier for you to check out something like HTML or other programming languages, which helps you to, I guess, understand how web works overall and stuff like that, which can be really interesting.
I'll answer this one too. So like we mentioned already, you can mix CS in a ton of other fields. So like if you want to go study biology, or you're interested in being a doctor, you can combine artificial intelligence with oncology research to try to detect tumors automatically that humans might miss. If you want to get involved in political science, like gerrymandering is a big problem right now. And people at CMU are working on algorithms that we can use to redistrict states instead of having it done by humans. So there are all kinds of places where computer science can be used in every field. But even if you don't directly write a line of code, after this class, learning how to think algorithmically is applicable literally everywhere. Like thinking about whatever you do in your life, you're going to be solving problems. That's what everybody's job is solving some kind of problem. And if you can take that problem and break it down into steps and think about how those different steps connect to each other. And if I can solve this step, then what's the output of that? And how does it hook into the next one? Like almost turning every problem you solve into functions can be really useful. And it's just changing the way that you think about the world. And I think that's the most useful part, one of the most useful parts of a introductory programming class like this, even if you're not going to write Python later. All right. Let's talk some about our favorite projects that you've worked on. So any programming projects in general. Could it be homework or a personal project?
Okay, this is just off the top of my head because I submitted it last week. So I spent a long time. I'm taking a computational physics class right now, which kind of is like merging a lot of what I really like. I'm a physicist. I really like computer science. And the project was to calculate and plot these certain points in the Earth-Sun orbit that I'll call Lagrange points, where stuff is like, if you place it there, it would co-rotate in the system and not move. So basically you just take a bunch of Newton's laws and you put it into a computer and you write some code, and if you do it right, you get exact points. And I guess I thought that was cool because maybe, okay, yeah, that was a very specific project and we only found that. But for example, those points are really important because that's where we put our satellites. And so, I mean, the people at NASA like actually like use this knowledge and like, you know, calculate where these orbits are going to be. And that's where we put our satellites. And that's how we like, you know, use our phones, stuff like that. And so like, that was a project that made me think like, wow, okay, cool. Like the world will not be able to run with this sort of like computing power and information. So I thought that was cool. That was my homework. Rick in Spanish. En este momento estoy tomando, bueno, la pregunta era cuál es un proyecto que tiene programación que yo hice. Bueno, la semana pasada entregué un proyecto que yo calculé puntos en el sistema solar al lado de la Tierra que los científicos en NASA, por ejemplo, usan para lanzar satélites para mantenerlos en el espacio. Entonces, para mí fue súper cool pensar que, wow, esto era algo que yo podía hacer en mi computadora con lo que yo sé, y es algo que en verdad se usa en el mundo real, que los científicos en NASA también hacen estas cosas. Entonces, me pareció un proyecto divertido con... Nada, sí. Y someone else can go.
I do want to share like a project that I was working on, I guess just a couple of weeks ago. My friends and I, we went to a hackathon actually. So a hackathon is basically an event that you can go with a couple of your friends and you just build a project over like 1 or 2 days. It's like a really short, just everybody just put all your time and effort into this one project. And we were trying to make this thing called Doodle Theater. It's basically like a AR kind of virtual play date. Oh, sorry, augmented reality. So basically it's like you can have your own drawings projected into like, 3D space, like the real reality with the help of like, phone cameras or like glasses, but we were just like trying to do that. It's basically, like we're thinking kids nowadays, they're probably like stuck at home because of the whole pandemic. So we're like, it might be nice that if they can create and they can draw their own character, upload it, and then like project it into like a little theater space. And like 2 of the friends, maybe they're like distant, they're at their respective homes, but they can like upload their character to the same like kind of theater space and sort of play there. It might be nice. So that was a thing that we were working on that got us really hyped. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think for me, the most exciting project I've done was actually a sci-fi story that we wrote for a seminar class called Beyond Earth at Carnegie Mellon. It's one of the courses you have to take as a D-Trick student, one of the college at Carnegie Mellon. And before that, I never thought I can write something 15 pages long. And afterwards, I guess it really helps me to understand the scientific part of going out of Earth and colonize in other planet, things like that. It was pretty interesting.
I guess I can talk about my 112 term project. So 112 is that like introduction to programming course that we were talking about earlier, where at the end you have to do a project. And I guess I So the project I decided to do was like a meal planning app. And the reason I decided to do that was because my job at home was to like physically like make a plan for what we were going to eat every day of the month. And I was like, this is really annoying that I have to do all this by hand. So I was like, you know what, we're going to code something that does it for me. So that's what happened. I coded this app where you type in like the name of a recipe, its ingredients, and then you can just hit generate and it'll like generate a calendar for you based on like certain restrictions. So it'll put like hard recipes only on weekends. It'll like not put two, chicken dishes next to each other because that would be like too much chicken. And yeah, I feel like it's really cool when you can program something that's really useful to your life and like solves a problem that you're dealing with.
Trying to think about my favorite projects. I do a lot of random stuff. I'll just like write up little things. In high school, I wrote this bot that I could text and it would turn my lights on and off because I like laid down in bed and I realized that I forgot to turn my lights off and I didn't want to get up. And this was before the days of Amazon Echoes and Google Homes, but which like apparently is not that long ago. It's just like 5 or 6 years ago before those were ubiquitous. So I wrote that. That was fun. But I think my favorite programming project that I've worked on has got to be CS Academy itself. Like writing the code that runs on all of your computers and the code that runs on our computers that your computers talk to. It's exciting and terrifying to have something at scale like that. If I write something cool, suddenly 18,000 people get to use that cool thing. If I make a mistake, it breaks the entire website for all 18,000 of you out there. So it's a lot of fun, super rewarding to write code for this project. All right, I'm gonna jump back to life at college and say, what is it like to be a woman in STEM at CMU? This one, not for Nico and Sean.
Good to know.
I can go first. So I go to the School of Computer Science here at CMU. We actually have a amazingly balanced student body. Like we have 50-50 male and female students here. So I think usually I guess it's kind of a blessing that I really don't feel it's a problem doing STEM or CS at CMU as a woman because, you walk by, you talk to, all your friends and also I guess like female professors and all that. Yeah, so I don't think it's that big of an issue, but I also do have friends talking to me that they're, at their school, the ratio is kind of off and they do feel kind of stressful about that. So I think that's definitely a good thing at least at CS at CMU. Yeah.
Do you have any advice from them on how they handle that gender disparity?
I think, one thing is they definitely have should I call them organizations? We do have similar things like women at SES, though I think everyone can just join that. But there are special organizations that are dedicated for female working at STEM, and I think there are also conferences and activities, especially for women or female, just in the STEM field in general. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had a similar experience at CMU. It's been really, I don't know, I don't feel like it's been a struggle for me being, taking computer science classes or anything like that. It's felt really balanced because Maggie said, there's that equal gender ratio in the School of Computer Science. I would also say it kind of relates in general to just kind of a cultural thing, I guess, that I've noticed about CMU, but I feel like there's just so much kind of interdisciplinary work and collaboration. And it's just such a academically rich culture, I guess, that also contributes to it being a really great place to be. Because for instance, my major, cognitive science, is actually interdisciplinary mixture of psychology and computer science and linguistics and several different things all combined. So it's just really cool to be in a culture that supports you know, women doing like literally everything and any mix of everything.
Awesome. All right, follow up. Well, not really follow up. Related question. What's it like to be a minority in STEM at CMU?
These are the tough questions you were talking about, huh?
Yeah. The cat didn't throw us any curveballs, so we had to throw the curveballs ourselves.
That's true. Well, to be honest, there isn't a very huge land population in STEM at CMU, and that can sometimes be discouraging. But there is still a community. It's not that it's non-existent. Like my closest friends here at CMU are Latino. One of my best friends is Mexican. The other one's from Puerto Rico. There are a lot of Latin students around here. And it's nice because I feel that there is a community and you can find it and enjoy it. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm the very best person to ask about this, but in Spanish, I guess, la verdad es que no hay muchos latinos acá en Carnegie Mellon, especialmente en STEM. Pero no es decir que no existen. Un montón de mis mejores amigos son latinos acá en CMU. Y especialmente la comunidad puertorriqueña. Hay bastantes puertorriqueños por acá. Y nada, es una comunidad buena, linda, y yo lo disfruto todos los días. Entonces existe, pero me gustaría ver más, es lo que quiero decir. Yeah.
Anybody else? No? Okay,
I'm not really the only one that has to answer the tough questions, guys. Come on.
Go carrying the team. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. So let's try to find a question that feels like it has some finality to it. This will be a big one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's like an interview.
Considering I graduate in a couple of months, I feel like I should know this. I'm not gonna lie, it's stressful. This is something I do think about these days a lot. But I guess I might not know specifically where I'm gonna end up, and I'm trying to be okay with that. But I do know that me as a person, I do know that I'm the kind of person that would like to work similar to this team on a project, like a large scale project that I feel good about, with a goal that I truly care about, and not just some random worker. So hopefully in 5 years, I'm working on a project that I'm passionate about and something I would love to wake up to every morning to continue working. Entonces la última pregunta era ¿dónde me veo en 5 años? Y la verdad es que esto es algo que lo estoy pensando ahora, que me estoy por graduar. Y la verdad es que no sé qué específicamente es lo que voy a hacer, pero lo que me gustaría pensar es que yo en 5 años voy a estar trabajando similar a este proyecto y este equipo, en un proyecto con una meta importante para mí y para la gente. Entonces me quiero sentir bien en lo que estoy haciendo. Entonces ojalá que sí, en 5 años estoy haciendo lo que importa.
Who else?
For me, I guess I can't say for sure for 5 years, but I am planning to go to graduate school and get a master's degree. So that'll take a fair amount of time afterwards, since I'm only a sophomore, so I'll have to finish college and then go to grad school. And then after that, I honestly don't know yet, but I am thinking possibly getting involved in some kind of research. I'm really interested in like kind of artificial intelligence and that intersection with cognitive psychology, which is why I've chosen the major that I've chosen. So hopefully something related to that, but we'll see.
I also don't have like a concrete plan in place. I think before I was really thinking about going to do a medical training, because the major I'm doing right now is computational biology is actually really related to medicine and all that. But now I am not very sure. Yeah, maybe like either I might be going to just grad school or like medical training, or I'll be traveling around the world. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun.
Exciting. Yeah, I think something here. I'm not sure what I'll do in 5 years, but most likely grad school or some kind of project that I personally enjoy working with. And yeah, as for now, I'll just try my best to graduate from CMU first.
I think the moral of the story there is that you figure out a little bit what you want to do. Like maybe you don't even know what you want to major in right now. In 4 years, you won't quite know what you want to do then either. So we're all figuring it out as we go. All right, we're 2 minutes over time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for interacting with us. It's been great to be here. And once again, these are happening all week. So tell your friends, tell your other classes. And